Buddy, I just want to say I'm stunned by the reaction to the last video. I want to say thank you so much to those who listened to my story, sent words of encouragement and support. It can be so hard when you feel no one's listening, like you don't have a voice. And so I really appreciate it. Lots asked to hear more, so I thought I'll share more of the story today. If you haven't seen the last video, take a look, or this one might not make sense. But before I get into it, I do want to explain something because I am going to talk about some individuals and some actions they took that I felt were unloving that hurt me. But this isn't about individuals. Jehovah's Witnesses often will say if something negative happens, well, that person's imperfect, they made a mistake. But I believe that these ones thought they were acting in a loving way because of how they were trained by the organization. And so I'll talk about that at the end of the video. But to continue the story, I'd sent this email of resignation, and that was on a Sunday during the meeting. The reason for that is I had invited personally the public speaker to give the talk. And great guy, beautiful family. I was so looking forward to see them, so I thought, I need to explain why I'm not there. If I'm going to tell him, it's time. I'll tell the elders, send an email to the family as well. And that's what happened during the meeting. That's all to say that right after the meeting, the elders met to talk about me. And I wasn't invited, I wasn't there, I don't know what they said, but I was told that they made no decisions. It was just to talk about me. But soon after, an elder called me and asked if he could come visit. So I said, yeah, that's fine, of course, you can come, but we're not going to talk about why we left. And please come after the kids are in bed. So it's Sunday night, he comes by, and if you can picture it, my wife's crocheting, we're sitting on the couch drinking apple cider. She does apples and spices in the slow cooker. It's really good in winter, warm drink. And he asked for a beer. So is this going to be, a friendly conversation? Well, that's certainly how elders are instructed to act. The SFL talks about showing encouragement, and even to those who aren't going to meetings or in service, try to be encouraging, share scriptures with them, show love. I have a personal note in my SFL under encouragement. I wrote, tell them what you love about them. This isn't quite how that visit went. It was actually, I regret not recording it because it was so bad. I couldn't believe it. I don't think anyone would believe it. So we won't talk too much about that. But my wife found it so ridiculous, she had to look down at her crochet because she almost burst out laughing because of how mean this guy was being. It was clear the reason he came was not to show love, but to get information so that he could disassociate us, remove us from the congregation. And so the main points that he had for us were, number one, we know you're trying to avoid getting disassociated. Number two, you've made so much work for the elders. People in the congregation are going to be upset. Now we have to go and try and help them. And number three, you and your wife and your kids will have no friends. Everyone's going to refuse to be around you now. And all these points, like he repeated them. He really wanted us to know these things. He also asked many times for the information we said we wouldn't talk about, and we didn't. We never talked about it. But he kept asking. He said, I'm special. You can trust me. He promised not to show the elders. It's just for me. I won't tell the elders about this. And at the end, he revealed my sister had called him. And she wanted to know, as though that would help. So it wasn't loving. It wasn't in line with the instructions to elders in the Shepherd the Flock of God book. And I can't comment too much about how he acted, but I can say that when he promised not to tell the elders, that turned out to be a lie. He sent his report to the elders right after the meeting that he had with us, right after that visit. I know this because one of the elders sent a response and accidentally included me on that email. And this video is going to get too long if I get into that, but yeah, there was an email I wasn't supposed to see. Things get way worse after that. But as it was here, already there were a couple things that really hurt me. My sister, like, we were so close, grew up together, always had a good relationship. And instead of calling me, she asked an elder who she wasn't close to at all. We weren't in the same congregation, to get information on me. So that hurt. And then this elder, like, I thought we were friends, and he comes and berates me and my wife for 2 hours, just beating us down. That hurt. It wasn't loving. But why do I think they acted this way? Well, my sister, I don't think she was trying to be mean. I think she was doing what she thought was right. I'll give an example. So this is a 2022 February study edition of the Watchtower. It's entitled, "Do You Trust in Jehovah's Way of Doing Things?" And so Jehovah's Witnesses are expected to study that personally and then again with the congregation. And so notice what it says. Paragraph 7, it says, "The plain truth is that we cannot say that we trust in Jehovah if we do not trust in his earthly representatives, those who Jehovah trusts." The next paragraph, "We show that we trust in Jehovah's way of doing things by heeding the direction we receive from the organization and the elders." Next paragraph, "Jehovah trusts the elders to make such decisions, and we too need to trust them." Next paragraph, "We show Jehovah that we trust in him by cooperating with those whom he trusts to care for us." And then there's also Song 103. I think it's noteworthy because it's in the chorus 3 times. Jehovah's Witnesses have to sing, "God gives us men who have earned our trust, men who are loyal and true." So just a quick example, a few paragraphs in one study article and a song, but you can imagine how decades for my sister of being taught elders are gifts from God, trusting them is akin to trusting God, that's going to have an impact. And so, no, I don't think she thought she was being mean by contacting them instead of me. I think she thought she was showing love and trust in her God. That's what she was trained. Similarly, this elder, I hope he wasn't just coming to be mean. So why did he act the way he did? Well, the Shepherd the Flock of God book talks about apostasy, and it says that apostasy is a standing away from true worship, a falling away, defection, rebellion, abandonment. They don't give a scriptural reference for that definition, but that's how it's defined. So did he feel I had defected or abandoned the elders? Possibly, I don't know. But paragraph 12 of that same Watchtower article says Jehovah has entrusted elders with the weighty responsibility of keeping the congregation clean. So imagine from his point, again, decades of being told, elders are gifts from God. And so now you have this responsibility to keep the congregation clean. I think he felt he was acting in the right way, trying to do what's right. So just a couple examples of how really unloving actions can be taken by Jehovah's Witnesses who feel they're acting in a loving way. And I wanted to cover that so when I continue with the story, I don't have to do this again and explain people's actions, but I just want to make sure that it's known I'm not holding these ones individually accountable. I believe the organization trained them to act this way, and I really hope that really soon I can make another video, because I know ones will be curious, to talk about that email that I wasn't supposed to read. And yeah, it is beyond unloving. So we can talk about that a little later, hopefully when I have enough time. I promise to try soon. Thank you so much again for watching. Bye for now.